This past Sunday, as so many of us likely did, I sat down at a table in a restaurant with no less than 12 family members to celebrate that classic holiday, Father's Day. As I sat next to the window and started dissociating, I experienced the horrifying ordeal of an aunt trying to start a conversation with me about, lo and behold, gender. For context, I came out to most of my family as non-binary about 5 years ago, and I've been patiently sitting through arguments of, it's just so hard, and well, you'll always be
Dead name.
to me, ooh, ever since. Basically, my identity as a person is one of the favorite topics of debate for family gatherings. It's so much fun. I am, in fact, the legendary family scandal. You know, see a need, you fill it. I'm very resourceful. So if you're watching this video right now and there's a they somewhere in your TikTok bio, I have a feeling you'll probably understand where I'm coming from here. To all the lovely non-binary individuals watching, I want you to know that you are hot, you are appreciated, and I love you. Now, understand that this ain't the video for you, okay? This video is for all the tias, the tios, the grandparents, the parents, the teachers, the professors, the doctors, the therapists, the choir conductors, the dance instructors, the high school theater departments, the directors, the yearbook committees, the friends, the enemies, the significant others, the enemies that you have a complicated relationship and unexplainable sexual tension with, and the cisgender people in your life that have no idea what binary means. Or what it means to be, well, not that. This video is for the allies, because let's be honest, even the most well-meaning of y'all have no clue. No offense, it's true. Some of us barely know what's happening here. So listen up. Today we are doing a crash course in the beautiful, insane, diverse world of the gender spectrum. And I'm gonna break it down nice and easy for y'all so we all understand it, okay? I'll also talk a little bit slower because I talk at 100 miles a minute and spin in my spinny chair. So, just sit back, grab some tea, some snacks, maybe a notebook if you're really dedicated, you know. There's not gonna be a quiz, but extra points for me. POV, I have to keep moving stuff around. What are you doing? No! So, dictionary.com defines the word binary as consisting of, indicating, or involving two. Yes, I lifted that verbatim from the website. Yes, dictionary.com is a credible source. You know what binary means, probably. It's two. A lot of us probably know this word from binary code. That's where I first learned it, you know, in 3rd grade computers class. Never thought about it again after that, because why did they try to teach binary code to a bunch of 9-year-olds? Hey, if it worked for you, all the more power to you. I understand this much about computers. I just stare at them a lot. Around 1980 to 1990, also according to dictionary.com, because I obviously dug deep for this one, we see the word binary start to pop up along with another word. 3 seconds to guess it, okay? It's gender. The word is gender. This video is about gender. Gender. The gender binary is a term used to describe the traditional Western view of gender. You know, the one with the 2 options, man and woman, male and female, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This binary relates gender to biological sex, you know, females got the innies, males got the outies. I can't believe I just said that. I wrote this, I reread it, I edited it, and I said that. Anyways, for a large part of Western history, this is how we've looked at gender and sex, you know? There's only 2 options, and your assignment is based on the genitalia and your chromosomes. You know, stuff they teach you during the brief genetics unit in 6th grade. Long story short, girls have 2 X chromosomes, XX, like an edgy 12-year-old's Roblox username. Boys, however, have 2 different chromosomes, an X and a Y. No quirky comment for this one, just XY chromosomes. However, if you look at the gender binary for more than like 10 seconds, it kind of starts to fall apart. For example, think about intersex people. The gender binary relies on biological markers that determine gender, but these biological markers themselves aren't foolproof. Some people are born with both male and female genitalia, some are born with undetermined genitalia, some females are born with only one X chromosome, some people develop male sex characteristics later in life. Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, androgen insensitivity. With so much differentiation in biological sex, it doesn't make sense that there's only two options for gender. They should be differentiated as well, especially seeing as gender is not biological but psychological. This, my friends, is where the idea of the gender spectrum comes in. Oh my god, my hair looks stupid. This proposes that, rather than the binary male or female genders, identity lies along a continuum, with male and female at the endpoints, and one can identify anywhere along that spectrum. They can move around, they can be totally at one end, totally at the other, in the middle, they can have multiple points. It's amazing. I think it's so cool. It frees us from the two traditional Western identities and allows for a far more diverse range of genders, one that accounts for people that don't feel like they belong at either extreme. A lot of people may identify themselves with different labels within the spectrum. These are non-binary people. They identify with terms such as agender, gender fluid, genderqueer, demi-boy, demi-girl, just to name a few. Each of these describe a different experience of gender, a gender that's not based solely on being male or female. I'd love to go in depth on all of these different identities. I think it's fascinating. I don't have enough time though, maybe another video. The fact of the matter is, everyone uses different labels. Some people have no labels at all, and if you have questions, Google exists for a reason, man. Or ask your non-binary friends and loved ones if they're comfortable with explaining. Point is, the binary is just outdated. It simply doesn't allow for the capacity to encapsulate all of the diversity and fluidity that there is with gender. Male or female may work for you, and that's great, okay? No one's trying to tell you to change. You know what you're most comfortable with. I'm not going to force you to identify as something else. I'm just trying to open your eyes to the reality that gender goes so much farther beyond the binary that we're used to, and it helps everyone understand this better if we stop thinking of gender as having only two options. Instead, think of it as just having infinitely many ways to identify. Everyone's experience is different. Your experience may fall into one of the two classic options. My dog is hiding under my bed. There's a lot of pushback against non-binary people because cisgender people or trans-binary people don't want to identify outside those labels that make them comfortable. And that's okay. That's what makes you comfortable. This is just about learning how to accept and understand the other ways that other people feel comfortable outside of that binary. Does that make sense? Anyway. At this point, you may be thinking, hey, typical rants. That's all well and good, but we can't just make up new rules for gender. It's been around forever, and everyone does the binary. You know, everyone. Every society throughout history has been based on the binary of male and female. Also, your channel name is stupid, and I hate it. My dear, why can't we make new rules? Also, that's just plain wrong. Also, I came up with my username in like 5 minutes, so that's actually like really mean of you to insult me, okay? My god, stop being so judgmental. Seeing as I was raised in the 2000s in New Jersey, I don't have much innate insight into the way that other cultures do gender. However, I do have an internet connection and Google Chrome, so I did my best here with those tools. Many of us are used to the idea that gender is binary because we were raised in a Western Eurocentric culture that doesn't want to admit otherwise. The truth is, throughout history there have been plenty, and that is capital P, plenty of cultures that have recognized all sorts of genders. One of my favorite TikToks, which I'll play in a bit, teaches you about the 6 genders that traditionally existed in Judaism and explains what they are.
There's 6 sexes, genders in the Talmud with many mentions. Let's get into what they are. There's Nekeva and Zakar, the 2 you hear as female and male. Androgynous for an intersex person with both female and male sex characteristics. Tum, a person with obscured or unclear sexual characteristics. Halo needs someone assigned female at birth but who expresses male characteristics later in life. Sorry, someone assigned male at birth but develops female characteristics later in life and or has their sexual organs removed. Saris and Eloni often are described as infertile. And while life has lots of rules, don't let binaries be a hurdle to loving yourself or exactly you.
That's 6 genders. That's a hell of a lot. And not only this, many indigenous cultures have people who identify as two-spirit people, and a significant amount of Eastern and Asian cultures and just places all over the world have a formally recognized 3rd gender. All this is to say that the concept of genders other than male or female is not new by any means. It's been around since, well, forever. In fact, the modern binary model is the newer approach. It's influenced by colonialism and erasing the identities of other cultures that had a more diverse understanding of gender. Hey, don't worry, okay? You're doing a great job. I know it's a lot, so why don't we do this? We're gonna sit back, pause the video for a bit. You can go ahead, get a drink, do some stretches. They always told us to do stretches in school after tests for some reason. I never did because I was too embarrassed to stand up. In any case, let's take 5, okay? Okay, great. Welcome back. Ready to keep going? I don't know I am. Hopefully your head is spinning a little bit less. I know I've been throwing a lot at you, but now it's time for what is perhaps the most important part of the video. How can you support the non-binary people in your life as a cisgendered person? Also, I have an alien hat now. Being a good ally is, well, it should be fairly simple in theory, but this world is so convoluted and complex that sometimes you need help. You need a starting point. Being a good ally is more than just listening to your friend come out and moving on with life. It involves constant learning and self-improvement. But if you've made it this far into the video, then I believe that you have what it takes. So welcome to Ally Boot Camp. That part wasn't in the script. Because I have anxiety and like to break things down into smaller, easier to manage pieces, I now present to you the 3 tips to being a good ally. Welcome to training. Tip number 1, accept. Listen, a cisgender person who's never questioned their gender will never be able to truly understand the experience of being non-binary. You may be tempted to react to all this with, I don't get it, or it's just too hard. And, well, yeah, you might never get it. And it is hard. If you really want to support the non-binary people in your life, you have to be prepared to accept that, well, you're just gonna be out of the loop on this one for a while. You need to learn how to accept it, even if you don't really understand. And of course, you need to accept your non-binary loved ones. If you reject what you don't understand or what you don't want to understand, then you run the risk of hurting people that are important to you. And you wouldn't want to do that, right? Number 2, respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. Aretha said it best. And other people have said that joke better, but it's true. A little respect is the least that you can extend to your non-binary family, pals, and partners. The easiest way to do this is to learn their pronouns and use them. Not every non-binary person is comfortable with the same set of pronouns, and some may use multiple pronouns but have certain preferences as to which to use when. And some people have preferences as to what type of gendered or non-gendered language you use to refer to them. For example, I use they/them pronouns, but I prefer traditionally masculine adjectives as opposed to completely non-gendered ones. Words like handsome, guy, dude, etc. Make sure you ask your envy folks what their preferences are. But typical rants, you cry. How do I use these pronouns? Isn't it grammatically incorrect? First off, no. But this is a gender lesson, not a grammar lesson. That could be a whole other video, because I love grammar, and I love to hear myself talk. Secondly, I'm sorry for giving you that voice, that was very mean. Thirdly, here is a quick cheat sheet. A quick verbal cheat sheet. Some of the most common pronouns that non-binary people use are they/them pronouns. Again, you see this a lot. Some people may use they/them in conjunction with other pronouns, such as she, they, he, they, etc., etc., etc. A good rule of thumb is if you don't know which pronouns someone uses, approach them with they/them pronouns, because that's the most neutral. And if you want to know their preference, usually if somebody is telling you their pronouns, they'll list which one they prefer first. So if you have someone saying, "Hi, my name is Emily and I use she, they pronouns," she prefers she pronouns, or she prefers she, her pronouns, but sometimes they want you to use they as well. Now, another set of pronouns that a lot of non-binary people use are called neopronouns, or neos for short. Neos can be pronouns such as ze, them, he, hers, we, them. The list goes on and on. For a lot of people, they're simply more comfortable to use than the traditional pronouns we're used to. They are completely removed from the experience of gender as a whole. Some people also use noun self pronouns, which is a subcategory of neopronouns, and the list of those is just toss any noun in there. Again, you don't have to understand it, but we just ask that you try to accept us. So, say I have a friend that uses they/them pronouns. In a sentence, this would sound like, yeah, they are my friend. Their pronouns are cool, and I'm glad that they accept themselves. If my friend uses ze, them pronouns, the sentence would look like, Z is my friend. Z lives next door to me. I love them so much. Again, a lot of the other neopronouns function in a similar way. If you have questions, your non-binary people want you to support them. Ask them if they're comfortable explaining. So, let's try noun self pronouns. I had an acquaintance who uses void self as their pronoun, so let's use that as an example. You might say, Void is my friend. Void's pronouns are really cool, and I'm glad that Void loves void self. See? It just takes a second. You just gotta think about it a little. It's okay to make mistakes when you're first learning this, obviously. Just correct yourself and keep trying. Trust me. We're not judging you for messing up. We're glad that you're respecting us. Number 3. Defend. Let me preface this by saying that non-binary people, we are not your uwu little babies. We do not need the big, strong, cisgender people. We're okay. We can kick ass if need be. Thank you very much. But if you're gonna be an ally, you gotta fight the fight with us. I know of far too many conversations where so-called allies pull something like this. So I was talking with Patrick the other day, and wait, isn't he using those new they, whatever, pronouns or something now? He's not here, so it doesn't really matter. Like I was saying, he was telling, hey, no, 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 no. No! Remember in middle school when the popular girls were talking about you behind your back because that was a universal experience that all of us had? It's the same thing. You wouldn't want someone referring to you as a child behind your back when you just turned 25, because then everyone gets used to thinking of you as a kid, and suddenly no one's respecting your status as an adult anymore. Instead, gently correct people if they misgender your non-binary loved one, even if they aren't there. So I was talking with Patrick the other day, and wait, they're actually going by Sam now, and they use they-them pronouns, remember? Oh, well, I still have trouble with all these pronoun things, you know? It's not like they're here right now. Well, it's a great time to practice then. Yes, thank you. I was a theater kid. No, I never got any lead roles. Yes, I just wanted to show off my last wig. Another super easy way to defend non-binary and trans folks is to put your pronouns in your social media bios or introduce yourself with your pronouns, you know? Hi, my name is redacted, my pronouns are they, them, etc. A lot of trans and non-binary people utilize this practice to help prevent them from being misgendered in both real life and online spaces. However, if only trans and non-binary people share their pronouns, then it becomes obvious that they're different. And it can feel very isolating. Putting your pronouns out there as a cisgender person is one of the simplest things you can do to protect your non-binary friends from bigots. Woo! That was a lot of information, but you did great, my friend. Just remember, the most important thing is to remind your local NBs that you love and support them and that you want to learn. Not only that you want to, but you're going to. The fact that you watched this all the way through already shows that you care, and we're all very grateful for you for being willing to become a better person and a better ally. Alright, so that's all I've got. And if you want to hear me rant about this more, or rant about anything, just leave a comment and maybe I'll actually start the video essay channel of my dreams. Probably not though, I'm lazy and this was a lot of work. Now, go forth, support your non-binary pals, and be a good human being.
This is the end of the video. This is the end of the video. This is where a good YouTuber would put an outro with a song. But I'm not a good YouTuber, so this is my outro song.
Now we got a secret handshake!